Hi all, Val Cole coming to you from inside my hotel room in Saratoga Springs. After meeting with some of you after our last meeting last week, I noticed that we continue to have some questions and some of you are in need of further clarification around self-regulated learning, how to teach it, and then putting it into practice. I really wish that I had more time with you, but I don't. However, I was inspired by Jenny Lewis and her use of the flipped classroom model. So, here are a few things that may help you with self-regulated strategy development. First, let's talk about the components of self-regulation. The first thing you do is develop a goal with the student. To do this, you must conference with each student to find out what he would like and needs to work on. You can give the general topics such as reading, writing, behavior, math fluency, etc. But within that topic, they can decide which area to choose. For example, if together you and the student both know that reading is an issue, you could have him read to you. Then have a discussion about what happened during the reading. During this discussion, you might decide that decoding was an issue. Together, you can measure how many words he miscoded and have a measurable goal to decrease the number of miscues. This provides a baseline by which he can determine if he has grown or not. The next step is self-monitoring. During this step, the student observes himself and uses the measure that you taught him to track his own miscues. The third step is self-instruction. During this step, the student will use the strategies that you taught him for decoding to fix his miscues. The fourth and final step is self-reinforcement. During this step, the student rewards himself for making progress and accomplishing his goals. So, how do you teach self-regulated learning? How do you teach those three things I just talked about? You do it through explicit instruction. This is the single most effective way of instructing all students, especially those with disabilities. So, in the example that we used before, the student needed decoding work. He developed his goal around decoding and will be monitoring himself while using the decoding strategy that you taught. Maybe you taught just him, or a small group if more students needed it, or used it to establish their own goal. As I said before, I don't want to, nor do I need to teach you how to teach decoding or any other skills that you teach. However, you do need to be very transparent with the students so that they know how to do it. That means that you discuss why they do it, when they should apply it, and how to actually do it. In this case, we use the decoding strategy. Of course, you model it, teach them to memorize it, support them while they use it, and then have them maintain it by using it independently. Last week, I used the tree strategy example. So, I discussed it with them, modeled it, they memorized it, I supported it, and now they can use the tree strategy to write in any discipline. Explicitly teaching them to track their progress is so important. They don't automatically know how. So, back to the decoding example, you might develop a form for him to track his miscues, and even to graph it. Visual representations of growth are very powerful. Rob talked about data walls and public celebrations of growth. This video shows that very thing. Use the link on the screen to view it. Note the procedure she uses. Can you replicate something similar? Think about the steps and the skills that you teach. Could you chunk it into manageable parts in which they could learn through self-regulated learning? I'll be in again on March 1st and will be available to assist you in developing your system for self-regulated learning. In the meantime, stay warm, stay inspired, and keep inspiring your students to be better today than they were yesterday, and better tomorrow than they were today.
Created using Powtoon.